Hey, what's up guys? It's been a Techie Gamer. Really quickly before we start this creepypasta, I just want to say sorry for such a long period between the last Sonic creepypasta, but I've been really busy keeping up with my school, a lot of tests and assignments I've been doing. But anyway, enough about my school. Let's get this next creepypasta started, shall we? I freaking love Kirby. Kirby was my childhood. What I liked about Kirby the most was that it was colorful. Until 2002, I found a fan favorite character, Meta Knight. He was a badass. The trash can mask, the wings made him my favorite character in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. But that changed after one fateful night. I then decided to go to the flea market to buy some games for the Super Nintendo. I got Super Ghouls and Ghosts and Zelda 2. But before going to the counter, though, I saw a rusted, scratched, and torn up game. I got really curious, so I checked it out. And when I picked it up, it was a copy of Kirby's Adventure. This was the very first video game I ever played. Nostalgia struck me. I remember the first time being the Nightmare Wizard, finding the HAL Easter egg, and Meta Knight throwing that lollipop at you to rush through enemies. It looked a bit skeptic though. Why was this game in this condition? Who owned it last? Whatever on creepypastas, most of the time, games are in strange conditions, mostly due to some weird stuff, like giving gamers paranoia and games that do not seem normal. But I wasn't into that creepypasta BS, and I didn't believe any of it. They're just stories. So I brought it to the checkout counter, slapped down my 20 bucks, and left. The first thing I did when I got home was popped Kirby's Adventure into my NES. The second I entered Vegetable Valley, I felt like a kid again. I was stuck from nostalgia like a tornado right in front of me, but that changed when I came to Orange Ocean. The Orange Ocean music was twisted and morbid, and the orange juice in the original game was now red and morbid. It did not look so happy anymore. Enemies were brutally murdered. The ocean floor was now skulls, but weirdly, the music again, it would change and it sounded like some broken radio and music box together. But hey, I should not be so worried. It's a hack, right? Anyway, I was stunned. What kind of screwed up person does this to Kirby? Let alone going curveball from happy to screwed up in the head. Like in Monster Party, for example. The first stage is happy, nobody's harmed until you pass a tree. Then the grass is slime, the blocks are replaced with skulls, and the hills also have bleeding mouths and red eyes. Anyway, I brushed that thought aside and I kept playing, then got to the boss. Before I reached the boss though, Kirby's expression changed. Instead of a blank expression, he looked sad and it almost looked like he was going to cry. The status at the bottom was changed too. Instead of reading normal, it was changed to suicidal. Kirby was like this because he was becoming suicidal? I couldn't understand why. I got to Meta Knight now. The moon in the background was also changed. Instead of looking happy, now it was just hard to explain. The eyes looked bloodshot and his mouth was like a chiseled grin, with blood all over it. Meta Knight turned around, but did not do anything. But for some time and reason, he took off his mask, and it looked brutally beaten. He had a black eye, a bloody nose, and his skin looked ripped off. I saw a bit of his flesh. Unusual text dialogue popped up too. There was no text dialogue in Kirby's Adventure, so how is it popping up here? That is it. I am done with your little games you call fun. Do you think this is funny? Beating people who do not mean it? What did that waddle do to you? You killed them for fun. Well, I did it to them because of this crap. I guess you're next. On the other side, cursing too. On the other side, I was cussing too. But this felt so true. I never knew I killed just for funsies. This turned me away from Kirby for a bit. But of course, the battle with Meta Knight started. I never got to attack Meta Knight because he charged right at me like at a cutscene. And he slashed Kirby violently. Instead of the usual miss when you get a game over and die, it said brutally murdered. Meta Knight pants and walks away. Screen flashed black and red with horrible glitching sounds. The game then corrupted, along with the console itself, indicating that he killed everyone in the NES game. Weirdly, when I opened it, blood was all over the game and dripping all out of my NES. I took the NES and the game and threw it out the window and smashed them both with a hammer. But I woke up at the middle of the night. But later that night, I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw two glowing yellow eyes. You're next, Jason.